Hi all, this is Once and Future Gamer and welcome to another Pokemon Challenge. Last time we faced Pokemon Emerald with a single Slacking, a powerful Pokemon but handicapped very noticeably by its ability, and that run was brutal towards the end of the game. Today though, we're heading back to Gen 1 as I ask the question of whether or not I can beat Pokemon Yellow with just a single Cubone. Now, about Cubone then. In Gen 1, that's a 270 base stat total, which is on a power with Bellsprout, Magnemite, Geodude and Horsey. Marginally better than Pikachu, Mankey and Poliwag, marginally worse than Voltorb, Ghastly and Grimer, amongst others. Our defence is pretty solid, but given it's nearly twice our HP and attack stats, that's probably cause to worry. We're weak to water, ice and grass, 3 of the specialities of the 13 main opponents we'll face in this game. We're immune to electric, resisting poison and rock, so that's 3 other specialists too. We do super effective damage on those types, plus fire as well, which is another specialist, so perhaps not too shabby. What about the moveset? There's a reason we're starting in yellow. For added challenge, we don't get an attacking move until level 10. So this is going to be a brutal grind at the start, having to struggle through. Even then, that move is Bone Club, a stab 65 power move that'll miss 1 time in 5 pretty much. We have Focus Energy and Rage, both of which are trash in Gen 1. As for TMs, we're back to being able to use them after the Slacking run. They're not bad. Body Slam, Bubble Beam, Ice Beam, Earthquake, Dig, Fire Blast. All decent attacking moves that will likely come in handy. Our special is low, but that's something we might have to deal with. We're not going to crit much likely due to low speed. I think I can do this, but we'll probably need to be at a massive level to beat the final trainers in the game. I can see Lorelei being horrible to deal with. If you think I can do this or not, comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe while you're down there too. Anyway then, the rules. In combat, we can only use Cubone. We'll need other Pokemon for HMs, but they cannot fight. In battle, we can only use Pokeballs, but outside of battle, we can heal as much as we like. Last of all, no glitches or exploits that I have any sort of control over. This is Pokemon Yellow, so I use the UPR to replace Pikachu with Cubone so that we can do the whole run with it. I nickname him Smoke. Now, if anyone gets that reference, then feel free to parade your genius in the comments section. The rival gets Eevee, and there's different circumstances for what he can evolve it into. I believe he evolves it into Vaporeon if you lose the Oaks lab fight and ignore him on Route 22. So, since this will be the hardest for us to fight, that's what we're going to do. Mind you, it's not like we can win this fight in Oaks lab, so, well, Flareon or Jolteon would be easier fights for us to win, so it's a good thing it plays out like this. It's a long and boring fight as his Eevee beats up Smoke, but we'll get revenge one day soon. Soon, my pretty. Smoke's stats are about what you'd expect. Good defense and attack, lower special and speed. I head to Viridian Forest to struggle fight Metapods. We stock up on potions first. As a handy side note, there are no Weedle in Pokemon Yellow, so we can't get poisoned. I did learn from the Togepi run. Plus, in this gen, enemies did not have PP, so it's not like they can start struggling me down either. Double bonus. Eventually, I get to level 10 and learn Bone Club. It still means I can't hit flying types, but at least I can hit most things. I go through 12 potions doing this, I'll point out too. Still, we get Headbutt at level 18, which will be handy for flying types. Anyway, the first major fight is against Brock, and we've got Bone Club, so that gives us a bit of an advantage. Geodude is 2-hit with Bone Club after landing a tackle. When Onix comes out, it immediately starts to stun lockers with Bind, doing this repeatedly. Bind and Wrap et al. Were pretty broken in Gen 1, it stopped you from attacking. I took advantage of this ever so slightly when I took on Pokemon Red with Agatha's team and moves. The card should be on the screen now. Anyway, we 2-hit Onix with Bone Club after it goes to Screech and Tackle. While in Mount Moon, I do teach Smoke Water Gun for coverage. There's a lot of rock types around and it's useful. It's certainly more reliable than Bone Club because that move's going as soon as I get access to Dig. I pick up the Helix Fossil in case you were thinking of asking, and then I'm attacked for it. Jesse and James show up and challenge me to prepare for fighting. Smoke's Bone Club puts Paid first to Ekans and then Meowth at the second attempt after it lands Bite and Scratch before it then swings it like a bat and sends Coughing flying out of the mountain. The rest of Team Rocket quickly blasts off after it too. Now that we're in Cerulean City, my choices are Misty, who I personally believe we have no chance versus at this point in time, but I'll make an attempt when we get Dig, and also the rival. So I head north to face Rod on Nugget Bridge. Revenge time! Spearow misses Growl and then gets clattered with Headbutt, surviving to land a Fury attack before going down to a second Headbutt. Sandshrew gets hit with Water Gun, survives and lands Scratch before going down to a second Water Gun. Rattata lands Hyper Fang and Tackle, but Headbutt deals good damage and it goes down at the second attempt. When Evie comes out, Smoke smashes into it with Bone Club, no doubt shrieking obscenities about the previous defeat in Oak's lab, flinching it. The second Bone Club misses, and Evie uses Growl before I knock it out with 2 water guns. I get my hands on Dig and replace Bone Club immediately. It's an upgrade in nearly every sense of the word. With that in hand, I take a curious try at Misty, though I nearly have a mini heart attack when Smoke tries evolving without me expecting it. To answer the question, no, we're not strong enough to beat her yet. Staryu lands a water gun before getting taken out by Dig, before Starmie does massive damage with the same move to leave us weak. We do land Dig on it, but thanks to an X-Defend, Starmie survives easily and knocks Smoke out with another water gun. We will come back later. I make another attempt at level 32 after fighting the trainers to the east of the Million City. We do deal more damage, but it's still not enough. Staryu still outspeeds and deals decent damage with Water Gun before we can one-hit it. Starmie still survives Dig, blasting Smoke out of the gym with first a Water Gun and then a Bubble Beam, sandwiching an X-Defend. I tackle the rival fight on the SS Anne next in hope that this can give me the power I need. Thanks to the training, we win easily. Spearow goes down to the newly learned Body Slam attack. Rattata goes down to the same move before Sandshrew comes out and gets one hit with Water Gun. Last is Eevee, and a vengeful Smoke takes a deep breath before leaping under the ground and striking it with Dig for a one-hit KO. That's the stuff. I do have to beat Misty before I can go any further now. There's no other way of looking at it. Anyway, we're faster than Staryu this time and one-hit it with Dig without taking a water gun ourselves. Starmie does land Bubble Beam for just over half our health before we go underground. The water gun misses, she doesn't go for an X-Defend, and the Dig lands to take Starmie out with a single hit. Nice. How hard do you realistically think Electric Trainer Surge is going to be? His Raichu can hit hard with Mega Punch and Mega Kick, but we've got good defence and we resist his stab moves. He threatens to shock us into submission, and I'm sure he pictured it going that way. Raichu fails with Growl, Smoke uses Dig, Raichu misses Mega Kick, and then gets one hit with the move. Yep, submission indeed. The only one eating the gym floor there was Raichu. In Lavender Town, I stop by Pokemon Tower to face my rival once again. Fearow tries Mirror Move before I've even done anything, which is a bad idea, before it then gets hit with Body Slam. It fails with Growl and then goes down to a second Body Slam. Vulpix lands Quick Attack before being one hit with Dig. Magnemite also gets one hit with Dig. Sandshrew comes out next and is one hit with a Water Gun before Eevee is last. I go into a Dig and take it out with a single blow. Probably the last of the easy rival fights. He's lost 3 times in a row. I reckon he comes back with a vengeance next time. In Celadon City, I teach Smoke Ice Beam, replacing Tail Whip. That might be handy for Erica, but I go after Giovanni first. Onyx goes down to a Water Gun. Rhyhorn also goes down to a Water Gun. Last is his Persian, and I go for Dig. It misses Payday, and then gets one hit by Dig. Well, that was pretty simple. Versus Erica, though, it's not quite so simple. I don't one-hit Tangela with Ice Beam, despite being nearly 20 levels higher, and it lands a crit Vine Whip before I do finish it off with Body Slam. I use Body Slam on Weeping Bell, I don't get the knockout, and it lands a crit Razor Leaf to take Smoke out. I guess we'll come back later then. We head around to Future City and back to Celadon to garner some strength and then go after Erica again. This time, we're at level 59, so it's a one-shot sweep with Ice Beam. As first Tangela goes down to it, and then Weeping Bell gets taken out by the move, and finally, Gloom goes down in a similar fashion. That's 4 badges, and I head to Sylph next. Come the Sylph rival fight, I see how we stack up here. This feels like it's way easier than it should be. Sandslash goes down to a single Ice Beam before Magneton comes out next. We're going to Dig and it fails with Supersonic before then going down. Ninetales does land a paw on Smoke with a quick attack before going down to Dig. Kadabra goes down to Body Slam before potentially the hardest one of the lot, Vaporeon, comes out. Not that it actually matters as we crit Vaporeon with Dig, so... Okay then, I guess we move on to Boss Rocket. Giovanni is about what you'd expect. Nidorino goes down to Dig. Persian goes down to Dig as well. Next is Rhyhorn, who I decide to mix it up on and go for Water Gun to take it out before Nidoqueen is last. Incidentally, I always really did like Nidoqueen's yellow sprite. Anyway, she goes down to Dig. Job done. Might as well tackle Sabrina while I'm here in Saffron City before we go after Koga. She makes an interesting choice in battle. She uses an X-Defend on Abra. We go for Dig and she fails with Flash before we one-hit Abra with Dig. Kadabra outspeeds and gets a Psychic off for big damage before we one-hit it with Dig despite her using another X-Defend. Alakazam could potentially finish us off. Kadabra did a lot of damage, so if Alakazam attacks... She doesn't. She uses Recover at full health. We go into Dig and one-hit it. Well done, lady. Moving swiftly on. I think we might as well tackle Koga next, and on the surface of it, we have a type advantage. If this was red or blue, or even fire red or leaf green, I'd probably already have gone for him. However, in yellow, he has a different team. 3 Venonat and a Venomoth, which could potentially be tricky. I'm not sure if it's Gen 1 mechanics or if ground does neutral damage to bug in this one or not, but each of the 3 Venonat goes down to dig. The hits marked are super effective. Sometimes in Gen 1, neutral damage gets marked up as super effective if a Pokemon has one type weak to a move and the other type resists it. Weird, right? It goes smoothly until Venomoth, who outspeeds and lands Psychic before Smoke goes underground for dig. It then goes for Double Team, which isn't good for sure, but the dig lands, leaving it in red health. Koga goes for an X attack next, and we go for Body Slam, thankfully landing it to knock Venomoth out. Blaine definitely shouldn't be a problem, but we will have to see. Being fair, Blaine usually isn't a problem at the best of times in Gen 1. Anyway, Ninetales comes out first. I call for dig, it misses a flamethrower and a quick attack in succession before going down in one hit. Rapidash comes out and fails with growl before being one hit with dig. Last is Arcanine, and this is where things start to unravel as it throws up Reflect and as a result manages to survive dig, landing a powerful flamethrower before I hit it with Water Gun. It's amazing I still have that move considering it was supposed to be a stopgap. It lands takedown and I finish it with another Water Gun attack. If he'd gone for Flamethrower or Fire Blast rather than takedown, we might have been in trouble. Oh well, 7 badges down. Giovanni is last. He's actually a little more troublesome than expected as Dugtrio outspeeds and uses dig, prompting Smoke's Ice Beam to go wide. We do tank the dig quite well and take it out at the second attempt with Ice Beam. Persian outspeeds and lands a crit Fury Swipes before we take it out with dig. Nidoqueen is then also one hit with dig. Thankfully we're faster. Nidoking goes down the same way, getting one hit with dig. Last is Rhydon, and I'm feeling cocky, so I go for a 4 times effective Water Gun, and it survives on a sliver of health, only for Giovanni to make the brave decision to use a Guard Spec, rather than attacking, and it gets taken out with the second Water Gun. We have the penultimate rival fight next, and given we didn't fight him on this route at the start of the game, it's quite new to us. Anyway, Sandslash gets one hit with Ice Beam. Execute goes down the same way, getting frozen out by Ice Beam, so far so good. Magneton is next, and I go for dig as it misses Sonic Boom before one hitting it. Next is Ninetales, and I go for dig again. It fails with Roar and Quick Attack in succession before dig one hits it. Kadabra is next, it outspeeds and does decent damage with Psybeam before we take it out with Body Slam. Vaporeon is last. We go for dig and it sends a Hydro Pump wide. We hit it and it survives but makes the baffling choice to go for Mist rather than a super effective move before we take it out with Body Slam. Boom. Anyway, after fighting through Victory Road, we make it to the Indigo Plateau, and these are our stats as we stand in the lobby. At level 77, our defence is good at 201, our attack is middling at 130, our speed pretty bad at 107, and the special isn't much better at 115. Final guesses on whether I can do this or not? Probably not at level 77, that's my prediction. Lorelei will be tricky. I don't foresee much issue with either Bruno or Agatha, and Lance shouldn't be too bad once I get past Gyarados. And the rival, well, that could go either way. I've got the double team TM if it's needed, but I can't really do too much more with the move set. Ice Beam, Dig and Body Slam are all solid moves, so we'll have to see. Let's tackle Lorelei first then. I say that like there's a choice in the matter, I know. I'm unprepared for just how badly it goes. Dugong is a pain. We hit it with Dig and then it uses Rest, healing all the damage we dealt. I tried to take it out with 2 Body Slam attacks, but it survives and lands Aurora Beam before I knock it out with 2 Water Guns to save PP. Cloyster is next. It tanks Dig quite well, missing an Ice Beam before it knocks us out with a crit Clamp. In Gen 1, if one part of a multi-hit move was a crit, the rest of them were too. That went so badly, I can't really put it into words beyond the ones I just used. I guess we'll hit Victory Road for grinding then. At level 80, I try again and it goes marginally better as we 2-hit Dugong. When we're underground, it sends an Aurora Beam wide and Lorelei heals it with a Super Potion after being hit while we knock it out with Body Slam. We do big damage to Cloyster with Dig, but it lands a 5-hit super effective Clamp to leave us weak before we take it out with a second Dig. Slowbro, mega annoying. We do big damage to it with the first Dig as it misses Surf, but 2 withdraws means it survives the second Dig on red health and then knocks us out with Surf. I guess we need to hit harder then. I don't really learn any good moves to water or ice types, except I suppose there is one option. For the ice types on her team, I go off to get the TM for submission. It's a fighting type move that has only 80% accuracy, so I don't know how useful it'll be, but I replace water gun. I quickly realise it's not enough. Submission is not enough to take out either Dugong or Cloyster, and I get badly messed up by Clamp once again, as Slowbro withdraws twice, once again, to survive Dig and then take us out with Surf. I go off to grind on the last few trainers in the game I didn't do before, a sinking feeling hitting me as I hit the water routes. I get up to level 84 and try again, same story, Dugong survives submission and then blast smoke with Bubble Beam. We do at least crit Cloyster, I go for body slam on Slowbro, hoping for paralysis, but it one hits me with Surf. Drat. Another attempt at level 88 results in failure. I can at least one hit Dugong with submission now, but it misses Cloyster and then it misses Clamp, too much to my relief. I do land submission and then it freezes smoke with Ice Beam and clamps us to death. At level 90, I finally get Fortune. Submission, one hits Dugong and deals big damage to Cloyster, though it does hurt us with Clamp. I take it out with Body Slam. I land D on Slowbro, which does noticeably more damage. It misses Surf and uses Withdraw, but I manage to take it out with Body Slam. Jinx is fragile defensively, and so I land Dig to take it out before Lapras is last. It narrowly survives submission, and while we are weak, she chooses to heal it with a Super Potion, and I take it out with Dig. Phew! Moving on to Bruno anyway, this one is a lot simpler. Onyx number 1 gets taken out with Ice Beam. Hitmonchan gets knocked out by Dig. And when it comes to Hitmonlee, I make the same move and it has the same result. It gets taken down. Onyx number 2 goes down to Ice Beam, and finally is Machamp, who goes down to 2 Body Slam attacks, landing only a crit Karate Chop in exchange, which Smoke easily shrugs off. Agatha then. Could be easy, could be horrible, we'll see. I'm worried about Gengar outspeeding Smoke, and it's a fight that doesn't go well. We do hit first, going underground, but Agatha takes Gengar out for Golbat, who immediately uses Toxic, putting Smoke on a timer. We take Golbat out with Ice Beam, but the damage is done. Worse, she takes Gengar out again for Haunter, but we do at least knock it out with Dig. Gengar comes out again for the 3rd time, and this time she goes for Substitute while we're underground, meaning Gengar survives Dig. However, we do take it out at the 2nd attempt. Arbok survives Body Slam as I desperately try to avoid the poison damage, and we go down. That was annoying. Maybe I should swap Dig for Earthquake to avoid this situation. I go with that strategy and it goes a lot better as Gengar number 1 gets trashed with Earthquake. Golbat goes down to Ice Beam, Haunter goes down to Earthquake, Arbok goes down to Earthquake, and the last Gengar, guess what? Goes down to Earthquake too. That semi-invulnerable turn for Dig is handy, but we saw the drawback of it in the previous fight. Dig and Earthquake have the same power in Gen 1 I believe, so ultimately it's a matter of preference. Lance then, if we can get past Gyarados relatively unscathed, we should be golden. And we land Body Slam on the Gyarados for big damage, but it does survive. However, my luck holds out, I was due some, and it misses Hydro Pump before we take it out with another Body Slam. Dragonair number 1 goes down to Ice Beam. Dragonair number 2 also goes down to Ice Beam. Against Aerodactyl, I go for Ice Beam and knock it out in one hit, even though it does land a fairly ineffective wing attack on Smoke, before finally his Dragonite, as Smoke continues his ice cold killer act and takes it out with Ice Beam. Last then is the rival, and this is make or break as I pop an elixir before the fight to restore Ice Beam and Earthquake PP. There is a few hairy moments. Sandslash gets one hit with Ice Beam, that's not one of them. Alakazam outspeeds and lands Psybeam for decent damage, but thankfully we don't get confused before we take it out with Earthquake. That was one. Executor survives Ice Beam, but thankfully misses Leech Seed before going down to another Ice Beam. That was hairy moment number 2. Ninetales goes down to Earthquake. Magneton comes out next, and it might not be 4 times weak to it in this gen, but Earthquake still puts it down in one hit. Last is Vaporeon, and I hit it with Earthquake for massive damage, and it survives on red health. Rod makes the brave choice not to attack, but instead to call for Mist, and I duly take Vaporeon out with Body Slam, entering the Hall of Fame. Now that was an interesting challenge. Easy for the most part, but that Lorelei fight was brutal. At least it was just a small stumbling point in the road. I hope you enjoyed it anyway. Next week, I think I'm going to head back to Gen 5 and tackle Pokemon White 2 with a single Sandile. It'll be my first challenge in that game, so I'm looking forward to it. If you have enjoyed what you've seen here, then don't forget to like, comment and subscribe and all that sort of stuff. It's good for keeping me going. If you've got any ideas for future challenges, then don't hesitate to drop me a line. I'm always interested to hear what you've got in mind. I've been doing this for a few months now. I've done over 20 challenges by this point, and while it might not sound like a lot compared to some, I do want to keep going, and I'm always grateful that people are taking the time to watch stuff that I made. So, thanks again. Anyway, we are almost out of time now, unfortunately, so this has been Once and Future Gamer. Once again, thanking you for joining me and saying take care now, have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye now, see you later.